How about another joke, Murray?
No, I think we've had enough of your jokes.
What do you get
I don't think so.
when you cross
I think
a
we're
mentally
done with
ill
your
loner
jokes.
with
That's
a
it.
society that abandons him and treats him like trash?
Call the police,
I'll
Gene.
tell you what you get.
Call the police.
You get what you fucking deserve.
I like to think that there's some truth in every joke. The Joker has a point. The society plays an important role in the life of an individual. If you're on the bottom of the hierarchy, then you might just be getting the short end of the stick. But the Joker didn't start at the bottom, nor does anyone else. We all start off as children full of potential. So how do you get to the bottom? What do you do when you get there? The 2019 movie Joker explores the world of socioeconomic inequalities and a possible way of acting when you're at dead zero. At the beginning of the movie, Arthur Fleck, aka the Joker, by no means is at rock bottom. He's definitely at the bottom of the society, but there's an infinite distance between the bottom and dead zero. Few things are working for him. He has a job, he has a family in the form of his mother, he has help from the government in the form of social service worker and medication for his mental issues. He has aspirations for a romantic relationship with one of his neighbors. But most importantly, he has a dream for a future. Hope that someday he'll make it as a comedian and he'll be just like the person he admires, the talk show host Murray Franklin. You could also look at his life from a different perspective. Let's say that you had to go through the list of things that a human being needs to live a good life. The list would have questions such as: has a job, has friends, has a relationship, has hobbies, has plans for the future. How many of them would you tick for Arthur? I tick most of them. He has a job, he has a friend, Gary Puddles, a social circle stemming from his job. He's striving to become a comedian, which means that he sees hope in the future. I would tick every box except the one for a romantic relationship. It seems as if he's far away from zero.
Take it. It's for you. You gotta protect yourself out there. Otherwise you're gonna get fucked.
Randall gives Arthur a gun to protect himself from attacks which occur as a consequence of unstable society. Arthur goes to a hospital to perform his act in front of children. He forgets that he has a gun in his pocket. He does his act and the gun falls out. Nurses are scared. They call Arthur's boss and he's furious about the incident. He fires Arthur. We can take one take out of the list. For most people, job is the most important activity that they do in their daily lives. It's something around which the rest of their life is centered around. The time when you wake up, the time you go to sleep, the place where you live, the people you meet, the things you can afford, all of it is determined by your job. Losing a job unexpectedly is the best way to unhinge someone. After losing his job, Arthur took a metro to go home. In it, there were 3 Wall Street type citizens of the year who were harassing a girl. Arthur experienced an episode of uncontrollable laughter, which led to 3 stooges turning their attention to him. They started harassing him, which escalated into an assault, which further escalated in Arthur creating additional holes in them. In this one evening, he went from being a good tax-paying citizen to being unemployed to being a criminal, the lowest social class. Losing his job meant losing all of the people he interacted as a result of it. The relationship with his mother is also deteriorating. Arthur is trying to find out who his father is, and his mother isn't telling the truth. His mother insists that Arthur's father is Thomas Wayne. Eventually, Arthur finds a way to get to meet him. They have a real heart-to-heart. Arthur finds out the truth. He finds out that he's been lied to all of his life. He was adopted, malnourished, and abused as a child by his mentally insane mother, whom he couldn't forgive and smothered her as a result. One more relationship out of his life. Arthur came back to his apartment building, and he was compelled to go into the apartment of a woman he finds attractive. Obviously, the woman is frightened by seeing a man she barely knows sitting in her apartment. She asks him to leave. No more hopes for a potential partner. Then Randall and Puddles come to his home under the pretense of being there for him. Perhaps Puddles really came for Arthur, but Randall came under a false pretense. He wasn't there to support Arthur, but to make sure that he was safe from the law, since he was the one who gave the gun to Arthur in the first place. Arthur couldn't handle the lies. He snapped and stabbed Randall to death. Obviously, Puddles lost all desire to be there for Arthur. Arthur lost his only friend. No more potential partners, family, or friends. His social circle is at 0. At this point, he has only 2 ticks in the box. He has hopes for a better future. He's invited to be a guest to the Murray's show. It's something he has dreamed about for years. To be in presence of a person he admires. The show starts off rather well. The Joker makes quite the entrance. He's a little awkward, but it's just fine. It's just fine until he realizes that his hero, Murray, sees him as a joke. Murray didn't bring him on the show because he wanted to hear Arthur's jokes. He wanted him there because Arthur was the joke. With this realization, hope for a better future was lost. He has nothing left in his life. He's at 0. In the movie, every once in a while, you get a dystopian dichotomy between the people in the high society and the people on the bottom. There's a perfect scene representing the differences between how different classes experience the same city. There's an ongoing protest outside the theater. The people are angry, there's violence and discontent. Meanwhile, inside the theater, the wealthy people are having a good time. There's nothing but laughter and joy. All of these people are living in the same city, and yet their realities couldn't be more different. In the movie, Thomas Wayne speaks for the high society, and he defends a position where the only reason you're not successful is because of your own insufficiencies.
Those of us who have made something of our lives will always look at those who haven't as nothing but clowns.
In contrast, the Joker not just defends but also personifies the position where people who are at the bottom are there because they are forsaken by their society.
What do you get
I don't think so.
when you cross
I think
a
we're
mentally
done
ill
with your
loner
jokes.
with
That's
a
it.
society that abandons him and treats him like trash?
Call the police,
I'll
Gene.
tell you what you get.
Call the police.
You get what you fucking deserve.
Irrespective of the reason, there will always be people at the very bottom. So what's the solution? What do you do when you have nothing? The solution enacted by the Joker was creating chaos. That's the essence of the Joker in his every iteration. He's the force for chaos. When he shot the Wall Street guys in the metro, when he ended his mother and his co-worker, when he shot Murray, he created chaos. Chaos has been a solution for people on the bottom of the society as long as societies have existed. There are only 3 consistent ways to reduce wealth inequality, and by proxy inequalities in the society. Natural disasters, war, or a revolution. What all of these ways do is introduce chaos in the existing society, which leads to change. If you're on the bottom, on the very bottom, then no matter how the situation changes, the only direction you can go is up. What makes the Joker so great is its diagnosis of a fundamental problem in every society. The fact that some people will be at the bottom. And that it's entirely logical for them to try to create chaos as means for change.